Akoben, greetings. I'm Mbiyu Chui, and welcome to another edition of the Akoben Mbiyu, a critical look into ideas, concepts, and principles relevant to our Pan-African struggle for self-determination. I want to talk for a few minutes about the importance of becoming more digitally literate in an information society. But first, I want to share a little story. Way back in the day, the lie and the truth were the very best of friends. They hung out so tough, everybody thought they were blood brothers. Every time you saw one, the other one was right there. The only reason you could tell them apart is that the truth was always dressed to the nines, while the lie always looked like he just rolled out of bed with the same wrinkled, dirty clothes he had on the day before. One hot summer day, the lie told his buddy the truth. Man, it's hotter than a Gambian chili pepper out here. Let's go down to the lake and take a swim. You ain't never lied, said the truth. Let's do it. When they got to the lake, the lie ripped off his tattered clothing, ran down to the shore, and dove straight in. The truth took his time, folded up his clothes in a neat pile before he ran and jumped into the cool water. After about an hour or so of swimming, diving, and horse playing, the lie said, "Well, Truth, man, I hate to leave you, but I got to go. My wife is at home preparing me a delicious meal of lamb chops, au gratin potatoes, asparagus, some red pepper shrimp and tomato bisque soup, and her famous lemon lime iced tea. And for dessert, she's baking me my two favorite things, a red velvet cake and some mouth-watering peach cobbler. I can't wait to get home and enjoy my feast." Now, the truth knew his friend well enough to know he was just weaving yet another one of his tall tales. So he replied, "Your wife? Man, when did you get married? And why wasn't I invited?" "Oh, my bad," said the lie. "I mean, my lady who is going to be my wife one day soon. And you will be my best man, for sure, for sure. Anyway, I gotta go. I'll catch up with you on the rebound." "Okay, man, whatever. I'll see you later," said the truth. "I'm gonna enjoy this water just a little bit longer. I'll catch up with you later." When the lie got back up on the spot where their clothes were placed, he paused and looked down at his ragged, worn-out threads. Then he looked at the tasteful clothes of the truth sitting there in a nice, neat pile. Then he thought to himself, "Lord knows, I'm tired of walking around here looking like a bum. I need to do something about this to improve my reputation with the women." So instead of putting on his own tattered clothes, you guessed it, he put on the beautiful clothes of the truth. Well, a little while later, the truth came up out the water and walked up to the bank where he had laid his clothes in a neat pile, but when he looked, they weren't there. All he saw was a set of raggedy clothes of the lie. "Oh, no, you got to be kidding me, man. I don't believe this. I swear for God, I'm going to kill this nigga. I'm going to kill that bro. I just know he didn't steal my clothes and leave me hanging like this. There's no way I'm going to put on them clothes. No, no, no. I ain't going to be caught dead with them freaking rags on. No, I'm not going out like that. Just wait till I find this fool. He must think I'm soft or something." So the truth took off, trying to catch up with the lie and get his own clothes back. Every place he went, he asked, "Have you seen a guy dressed in blue? He had on a blue suit and a hat and vest and shoes to match." And every place he went, folks said, "Yeah, I think I did see him. I saw him, but I think he left a little while ago, headed towards the next town." And every place the truth went, the lie had just been there and was already headed towards the next town. But the truth was determined to find him, so he kept searching, moving from town to town to town, trying to catch up with that traitor he used to call his best friend. And ever since that hot summer day, up till this one, the dressed-up lie is still being chased by the naked truth. My friends, each one of us is endowed with the capacity to perceive a greater reality and connect with the grand source of our being. but living in an information-driven society where we are constantly being inundated with all kinds of information from a plethora of different sources. We need more than ever before to be able to discern truth from lies, reality from fantasy, and fact from fiction. We cannot expect to transform our collective condition as African people without a firm understanding of our current reality and a critical analysis of the challenges we face in order to develop an effective and systematic approach to our liberation. Life in the 21st century demands that we intentionally strive to become more digitally literate, to prevent the complex problems which arise because there is no filter in place to prevent the steady flow of disinformation being posted, copied, pasted, uploaded, and downloaded by billions of mindless users daily. The internet, the World Wide Web, artificial intelligence, social media, virtual reality, and the 3.5 million apps out there in the metaverse have drastically altered human history as we know it. And we are not going back. Never before have we had access to such a huge reservoir of unregulated information and disinformation. Never before have we had a digital platform which allows anyone who has a mind to make their faulty opinions feel, look, and sound like actual reality. These blurred lines have already created massive trust issues for many folks to the point where many have lost the ability to discern or determine the truth over the falsehood. Conspiracy theories and doomsday revelers have become the new Chicken Little town criers, hastily jumping to unfounded conclusions, throwing the world into panic mode, and frantically warning us that the sky is falling. And so we must all race to tell the king. And trust me when I tell you that if the sky was falling, there ain't a damn thing the king can do about it. But by default, our trust level has been tremendously eroded. Not only do we not trust the government, the news, mass media, academics, politicians, doctors, scientists, preachers, lawyers, police, teachers, coaches, school administrators, city officials, and any other human or divine source. We don't even trust our own spiritual faculties, which naturally alert us to any kind of perceived signs of illogic, uncertainty, threat, danger, or trouble. For too many of us, the world has become a panacea of bad news, played out on a stage full of corrupt political and foreign actors who contribute regularly to the erosion of moral, civil, and social discourse, political paralysis, and ethical integrity, resulting in nothing more than widespread human apathy. The most telling example of this problem of information illiteracy can be found in the context of the last couple of years. Since 2020, we've had upwards of 6,700,000 people die to the coronavirus. And more are currently, another 670 million new cases every day. 229 countries and territories across the globe have already received enough information and developed enough resources to stop the spread of the virus. Even though we exist with an all-encompassing information web, we have failed miserably in our effort to effectively navigate and keep ourselves and our loved ones safe and protected. Just as the truth knew he could not live meaningfully wearing the clothes of the lie, we too cannot live our higher purpose unless we are always striving to reclaim our own truth. Culturally, socially, spiritually, politically, economically, we must be able to decide, define, and decipher who we are, where we are, and what we are about as African people living in the 21st century global reality. We no longer live in a singular world of mainly print media, where newspapers, magazines, and book publishers had all content reviewed and fact-checked by writers, editors, copy editors, and publishers before the information was freely shared with the public. The truth is that there are no gatekeepers in the digital world. In the digital realm, we must learn to be our own gatekeepers, doing our own fact checks, researching, cross-referencing, and verifying information, ensuring that it is fact-based, science-based, logic-based, and that there is sound evidence to support whatever claims, positions, political, or social theories we are being offered. We must be able to align information with our own cultural norms, ethics, and values. The important thing to remember when you are surfing the web, viewing ads and videos or other propaganda posted by individuals you do not know, always remember that the power in the message lies with the viewer and not the messenger. It's up to you to decide what to do with the information and to determine its influence, credibility, and value. So don't be like Chicken Little and naively spread false information that you have not discerned or intentionally processed for consumption by others. Even before you post, share, or distribute information, make sure you have critically analyzed how others will interpret your message, ensuring that it will not be misconstrued or misrepresent your values. Remember that it is the viewer, not the messenger, who ultimately gives the message its power. So becoming digitally literate means being able to effectively process information using a variety of sources, angles, and slants you receive beyond the limited parameters of one's own algorithmic feed. Remember that what shows up in your feed stream is determined solely by what you view, like, share, and subscribe to on a daily basis. So learn to produce and share information reliably, and to hold yourself, your friends, and family accountable for doing the same. The best way to do that is to balance the time you spend online with the time you spend offline. When you pick up a book to read, you can learn a little bit about the author's purpose, their intent, the sources, the research, before you even digest the content or subject matter. So likewise, when you're navigating the internet, it requires that you consciously do your research. Find out about information, whether it's misinformation, fake news, false propaganda, clickbait, pseudoscience, bias-sponsored content, conspiracy theories, partisan rants, bogus claims, deepfake scams, and hoaxes of all kinds. The only way to not get caught up in this flooded cesspool of misinformation is to be conscious as a consumer rather than being a blind consumer. Didn't Jesus say in Luke 6:39, one blind man cannot lead another? If he does, both will fall into a pit. Too often in the digital world, seeing is totally believing. But it's only human for us to believe video and images over words. But just because you saw it on your computer, tablet, or smartphone screen does not make it truth. Because that context in the digital space means everything. Sometimes our brains can override the context surrounding what we see, ignoring the evidence gathered by our eyes and even causing us to imagine things which aren't even really there. So remember the story, my friends, about the lie and the truth. And don't be fooled by the appearance of the dressed up lie when he pops up on your computer screen, but rather stay vigilant and pursue, seek, search, until you find his old friend, the naked truth. Ashe and amen.